My name's Calvin Innes. I am the Creative Director of Drunk Animal Creative Studios. So we're a disruptive marketing agency that specialises in brand positioning and creating disruptive campaigns that combine digital media and real-world advertising. So first off, it's worth sort of explaining to you exactly what marketing is. Marketing is really fucking simple, really simple. Marketing is essentially just forming an emotional connection with your audience. The difficulty comes in with actually delivering that. Whatever type of connection you're forming, whatever you're making your audience feel, whether it's happy, whether it's sad, whether it's scared, whether it's horny, they're all valid, they're all perfectly valid. It's creating that connection that then hooks in your audience. At that point you can then sell your business, your product, your service, whatever it might be. Using disruptive marketing is a great way of doing this, but first off you have to understand exactly what disruptive marketing is and how it works. Disruptive marketing isn't a new term, it's been around for a really, really long time. Disruptive marketing goes right the way back to the early days of marketing. Think of when the first printing press came out. The printing press was a brand new way of advertising, a brand new way of getting a message out to people. Before the printing press, everything was word of mouth, it was conversations that people had between stallholders. As soon as the printing press came about, people were able to print advertisements and put them in front of businesses, in front of potential clients, in front of vendors. This was a completely new form of advertising. It was hugely disruptive. Disruptive marketing has developed over the years relatively slowly until this came to around about the 1990s. In the 1990s, the explosion of digital marketing meant that disruptive marketing found a new home. Disruptive marketing now should form a huge part of everybody's marketing strategy. But it's important to understand exactly what disruptive marketing is. Disruptive marketing is any form of marketing which pulls people out of their comfort zone, which makes people stand up and pay attention, that makes people look at things slightly differently to the norm. So these days we're subjected to as many as 10,000 advertisements a day. If you live somewhere like Tokyo, you're subjected to as many as 20,000 advertisements a day. That's a huge amount. And the vast majority of people just filter these advertisements out. You don't notice most of the time when an advertisement goes past on a bus or on a billboard, or you're seeing things on your phone, on computers, on taxis, in shops. They're absolutely everywhere. So cutting through this noise and creating digital marketing campaigns that actually connect kind of helps if you combine the real world with that as well. So disruptive marketing, all about putting people out of their comfort zone, dragging people out of the norm and making them look at things slightly differently. So with people being subjected to 10,000 advertisements a day, a huge majority of these being digital, a modern form of disruptive marketing might be a handwritten letter. So as a CEO of a company, I receive hundreds of emails every day. Anybody who runs a company does. So for me, receiving a handwritten letter through the post would be something a little bit different. It would make me stop, it would make me pause, it would make me pay attention. So that would class as disruptive marketing. A little example of how this can kind of work is if you imagine a window cleaner, okay? So a window cleaner sends a flyer out to a bunch of houses. The flyer comes through the door. First thing most people do is pick up that flyer, take a look at it, throw it away. If you take that flyer, you put it into an envelope, you seal the envelope, and you address that envelope personally to the first name of the person this is going to. As the envelope comes through the door, you pay attention. You see your name, you see recognition, it feels personal, you open it up, you take out the flyer, it's exactly the same flyer, but you're going to get somewhere between 15 and 20% more engagements just because people have physically done something, because they're physically engaged with your advertisement. So when you start to think of things like this, you need to start trying to imagine how you can combine real world actions, real activities with digital marketing to disrupt people's daily pattern. And that way you can start to get people to engage a little bit more. So throughout your marketing, you want to be working on creating 7 touch points for your audience. If you can reach 7 touch points, then your audience is far more likely to engage with your brand or to buy your product or service. One of those touch points may be on social media. 2 or 3 of them might be on social media. One might be the website, one might be print advertising, one might be real world. So the key to creating 7 touch points and helping your customers along this journey is to combine different media. People who rely entirely on social media, rely entirely on print advertising, rely entirely on out of home are missing out. It's about creating these cross-platform, multi-platform marketing strategies that engage on these 7 different touch points that actually deliver real results. So if you want to get somebody engaging with your brand, make sure they see your brand first thing in the morning. Make sure they see it halfway through the morning. Make sure they see it at dinner. Make sure they see it at tea, on an evening. Make sure they see it when they're on their phone, when they're on a computer, when they're out and about, as much as possible. Obviously, budgets play a huge part in this, so it's important that you get creative. This is where the innovation comes in. This is where creating disruptive, interesting, exciting, different, brave, bold, loud ideas actually pays dividends. So rather than just throwing a ton of money at out-of-home advertising, it's about letting those strange ideas formulate and actually giving them time to breathe. Listening to people who have slightly different ideas to you and how you should approach your marketing. As soon as you start to pull these ideas together and make them work alongside each other, you can create these 7 touch points and you can engage with your audiences. So, truly disruptive marketing needs to feel personal. Mass marketing, kind of the blanket approach, has a certain amount of effect, but for marketing to really connect with people, for marketing to really have an impact, it needs to feel like you're only marketing to one person or a very small group of people. When you get an advertisement that is targeted at you, when a company shapes their messaging to appeal to you, you're far more likely to engage. Look at what Netflix do. Everybody's viewing experience of Netflix is completely different because Netflix learns what you like, what you don't like, the kind of things that they're going to be able to make you watch. So that is hyper-personalized marketing just for you. Your marketing campaigns, if you can make your audience feel like your advertisement is created just for them, is going to be far, far more effective. The other thing to bear in mind with all of this is social media plays a huge part in most marketing strategies. But again, it's about making sure that your message actually feels like it's personal to whoever it is you're trying to target. So millennials, around about 95% of millennials use social media actively every day. This goes down ever so slightly when you're talking about the different age groups, but you're still talking about a huge amount of people using social media. So social media should form a part of everybody's marketing strategy. How you use social media shouldn't just be a blanket approach. It should be hyper-targeted. It should be the idea of forming this emotional connection and actually making people act is important. And this all comes down to understanding your audience. So understanding your audience isn't about numbers. People who market to numbers will have a certain degree of success. People who market to people will multiply that success massively. So you might be targeting people who are aged 25 to 35, 2.4 children. That's kind of fine. It's gonna work to a certain degree. But you're marketing to people. Whether you're marketing B2C or B2B, you're still marketing to people behind every business, or you're marketing to the consumer. It's worth understanding who that consumer is, who it is you're actually trying to reach. Is it Sarah, who has 2 children, who is struggling to find time to cook on an evening, but is really passionate about cookery? So if you're marketing an online cookery course, or you're marketing a mail order food service, you can shape your messaging to appeal exactly to Sarah, rather than to appealing to numbers. An important thing to remember when you're creating disruptive marketing strategies is that disruption is about innovation. It's about bravery and it's about commitment. Innovation is inherently messy. Innovation leads to mistakes, okay? Or mistakes lead to innovation. You can't have innovative, creative campaigns without missing the mark now and again. So you have to be prepared to take risks. If you take risks and you own them and you accept them as part of your strategy, as part of your learning process, then that's absolutely fine. No innovative campaign, no innovative approach, no innovative business has ever happened without mistakes. The mess that comes around innovation is important, and that's a key part of creating disruptive strategies. So when you're looking to create your disruptive strategies, you want to pull people out of the norm. Their day-to-day routine, most people have a day-to-day routine, everybody's is different, but people tend to stick to the same sort of routine every day, the same way they get up in the morning, the same time, the same way they brush their teeth, they have the same breakfast, they travel to work in the same way. They engage with their colleagues the same way. They go to the gym, they go out one night. All these kind of things is their norm, it's what they do. If you can pull them out of that just for a second, for 2 or 3 seconds, even better, pull them out of their normal routine, pay attention to your advertisement, make them feel something, connect with them, make them feel happy, make them feel scared, make them feel sad, whatever it might be, then deliver your messaging. That's absolutely key. Okay, so the 3 most important takeaways from this. Marketing is really fucking simple. Marketing is about forming an emotional connection with your audience. If you can make your audience feel something, whatever that might be, you've already got them hooked. Whether you make them feel happy, whether you make them feel sad, scared, horny, whatever it is, make your audience feel. Then deliver your messaging around your product, your service, your business, whatever it might be. Secondly, it's important to be relevant. Make sure your messaging is relevant to your audience at the time that they are receiving it. So be aware of the things that are going on in the world. Be aware of what your competition are doing. Be aware of where your audience is in their life at the moment. So when you deliver your messaging to them, it feels relevant to them and it connects. Finally, be brave. Be brave with your messaging, take risks, be innovative. Be prepared to be messy and to make mistakes. Creating disruptive marketing strategies is about stepping out of your comfort zone, making your audience pull themselves out of their day-to-day routine and feel something, do something different. So that inherently comes with risks. You are going to make mistakes, you're going to create campaigns that do not quite connect. By making these mistakes, you learn, you better understand your capabilities, and you better understand your audience. My name's Calvin Innes, I'm the Creative Director of DA Creative Studio. Thank you for listening.